Eamonn McEneaney of Waterford Treasures, patiently waiting by to take us on another tour, a virtual tour of Waterford Treasures, and more to talk and tell you about. Eamonn, good morning to you, sir.
Well, good morning, Ollie. Good morning, Mary, and good morning, listeners.
Today you're going to talk about the Watchtower in Railway Square, built to protect John's Bridge.
That's right, Mary. Yeah, there's three lovely towers there, medieval towers, along there, Castle Street and at the Manor, and the first one, at the lower one down, is called the Watchtower. It's hard to imagine now if you walk along the waterside up towards the bridge there. That's such a tranquil area. That was an area very, very important to the people living in Waterford in the Middle Ages, because Johnstown there's a little bit of a wall there. It's a very ramshackle wall at John's Bridge. That was a big gateway protecting the bridge, and that bridge is probably the oldest bridge in Ireland, the oldest still functioning bridge in Ireland. Wow. It was widened in the 18th century, and there's a plaque up there telling us it was widened by the Mayor and Council of Waterford. It was deliberately narrow. It was deliberately placed off skew with the gateway, so that an army or somebody or people trying to attack the city wouldn't have a quick run at the gateway coming into the city.
You had to be thinking clever, Eamonn.
Oh, they had to think very clever. And the round tower, which a lot of people maintain is a later tower, it's not. They didn't build any round towers anywhere in Britain and Ireland in the 15th century. That tower dates to the 13th century's typical round tower, and was built there kind of as an outliner tower, because remember, the Johns River was much wider than it is now, and the Johns River flowed obviously under St. John's Bridge, and the tower was built around the same time as the bridge in the 13th century to protect that bridge from people coming down river trying to attack the city. So that was built there, and there's a very good reason to build it. Like later on in the 14th century, we know there's a brilliant account in the Great Parchment Book of Waterford, which is again unique in Ireland, and the account tells us that the O'Driscolls came along with the Powers from Dunhill in County Waterford. The Powers would have been an Anglo-Norman family, the O'Driscolls would have been an Irish family, native Irish family, and they were attacking the city, probably looking for a black rent from the city, in other words bribery or corruption money, so that they wouldn't menace the city. They didn't really want to take it over. But we know that the city had to get an army, and the mayor went out as far as John's Bridge to defend the city, and that tower would have been part of this. We were told in the record that he was all hewn and hacked to pieces, and his body was in such a state he had to be brought immediately to Christchurch. Yeah, the poor mayor, John Malthus was his name, and he had to be brought to Christchurch to be buried. Interestingly, his widow, of course, he traded with the town of Bristol, the great city of Bristol in England, which is in the news a lot for all the wrong reasons, and he was trading there, and his widow, of course, decided she'd have to get the ships back from Bristol, and when she sent over her agents, or lawyer probably, to get the ships back, she was told that, oh no, you're not taking those ships because your husband's agents, or probably your husband, tried to leave the port without paying taxes. And when he was sailing away from the port side, two fellas tried to jump onto the ship to stop him, and they were drowned, so she had to pay compensation. So it's amazing the little things that are recorded in history. But later on then, that tower, which is wonderful, that is still standing, means really we're blessed in Waterford to have such wonderful monuments. But a little bit up from it, now built into there's a nightclub there a while ago. I don't know if it's still open or not. Like what they built at Reginald's Tower, they built an extra set of walls sticking out into the river, and the water would flow under in arches under it. Quite a sophisticated little building, and there's a platform in that made of timber, and that was used to put cannon on it, because unfortunately the tower wasn't big enough to take cannon, so they needed cannon. So it was still at the very end of the Middle Ages, in the 1500s. Protecting John's Bridge was hugely important. So even though it's a lovely tranquil place today, and people go down there shopping and TK Maxx and all the rest of it, that was at one time a place of great activity, and something that was very important to Waterford, that was protected. When you think of it, all around this time too, in the 1370s, when the 1368 the attack was on the city, when they were writing off to the King of England looking for support and all the rest of it, they describe Waterford as, it says, it's like a little castle, and if God forbid the King should lose his lordship of Ireland, that would be better gained by this little castle by Waterford. And then in that letter they also send the Great Charter Roll along with that. And what have they on the top of the Great Charter Roll? A drawing of the walled city of Waterford. It's the oldest drawing of a city in either Britain or Ireland.
Wow.
And again, that shows you the pride the people of Waterford had in this beautiful walled town, all painted white, so that when you came up to it you knew these weren't people to be messed with.
Very good stuff. And is that on display in the museum? It is?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Golly,
and the tower, of course, everyone passes it, goes in now to Tramore, Cork Road. Yeah.
Well, we'll never look at it in the same light again.
Talk to you tomorrow,
Thank you for that.
Thanks a
Bye-bye.
million.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.